it's really pretty amazing, to go from coming out here, getting first of all, you come out here with a series, and then you do a few guest spots and you're doing okay, but then you get together with some guys and create a comedy show. Like were there people, like comedy people, that were furious with you guys? Like how, like UCB people, or people that had been like pushing comedy.
Probably.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean,
Yeah.
maybe. I don't know. Again, I didn't come from the comedy world. It was a really weird. I did feel like most of the people who were doing the things like what we were attempting to do were coming from the sketch comedy world or the improv comedy world, because what we were doing was very improv-y and it wasn't sketchy, but it was, there's definitely, you're doing bits and you're,
Sure.
But what we thought was, we want to approach this a little bit more like a drama and just have it be that the situations are so insane that's what makes it funny, that we weren't trying to be overly clever or overtly funny in our performance style.
Right.
It was really, honestly, very, very heavily influenced and spurred on by having watched The British Office and having been watching Curb Your Enthusiasm. Those were the two shows that made us go, oh, it doesn't have to look that good. You know what I mean? It just looks very handheld, and it looks like somebody turned on a bunch of fluorescent lights, opened the shades, and then you could roll on it if you had funny people doing funny things,
like a loose, naturalistic kind of feel.
And there was these, there was this category of prosumer cameras that were coming out, which were somewhere between just a handheld video camera and a professional camera. That could shoot in what was at the time a pretty high resolution, that could capture a lot of light. And so it was the perfect time to do it. YouTube did not exist yet when we first.
What year is it? What year are we talking?
The first version of it we shot was the first version was at the end of 2003, so almost exactly 20 years ago, which is crazy.
So it took about 4 or 5 years to get to the air, right?
It took. We ended up shooting 2 or 3 different versions of the home movie that we call it a home movie,
right?
And then before we felt like we really got it, and then we shot a second episode as a home movie, just to kind of as proof of concept, like, hey, this isn't a one-up.
Yeah.
Like,
they want that.
Yeah. And this was probably in 2004, and then we shot and then when we got picked up, or when we got the pilot order from FX, we shot that in the fall of 2004. So it was really
pretty quick.
It was a year from the time we first picked up cameras until we were shooting with FX.
Yeah.
Wow. So it was relatively quick.
Was it being in something that you produced and wrote yourself? Was that something that surprised you that you were doing that?
Yeah, I never thought that I would do that. I never thought that. I mean, I always thought, like, wow, writing, directing, producing, that sounds like that's something I would want to do at some point. But it happened much quicker than I thought it was going to happen. And it was really spurred on by, I got to give McElhenney a lot of credit, because he was the one who's like, let's go, let's do this. And that energy was so infectious to me that I was like, yeah, let's go. And we would just call our friends. And
why is that fucking guy so secure, huh? What's he got going on that he's got the world by the ball so much?
I don't know. You'll have to talk to him about that.
Yeah, buying soccer teams and shit. Jesus Christ. Yeah. Take it easy, McElhenney. No, I mean, that's fantastic. And I mean, I think it's also really, I think it's a big ingredient of you guys' success, is that there's something organic there. You guys you're not like a boy band, like the TV version of a boy band that was all cobbled together. You guys are in the sort of the same vein as, Kids in the Hall, and comedy groups that started low rent and then stuck together, and also too, Jesus Christ, it's hard to keep that kind of group marriage alive, and you guys have done a pretty fantastic job of it.
Yeah, I it's always felt to me more like being in a band than being on a show. Yeah. Just because, as you know, I mean, most shows, not every show, but most shows, the writers aren't. Maybe there's a couple of writers that act on the show, but it's not separate. But they're separate, and the producers are not the actors, and So the fact that we were writing our own music and performing our own songs, it always felt like we were a band. And so, there's those moments of look, we fought a lot in those first 3 or 4 seasons, but we always tried to keep it about the work and not about our egos. And we got better and better throughout the years at recognizing when we were fighting for something because our ego was hurt versus fighting for something because we really thought that it was creatively the best choice.
That is definitely a learned skill.
Yes. Yes. But it took a while, and now we've gotten to a really good place where we're happy to defer to whoever has the strongest feelings about any given thing. Because we're like, that might just be exhaustion.
That's been one of my lines for years is, like in talking over a bit on the floor and going, well, why not do this? And then somebody, person A will go, yeah, that could work, but I really think this aspect you're forgetting. And person B goes, I don't think it'll work because, and then, like I say, I've used this line before. I'm like, and I realize I don't care that much now. Like just that amount of dialogue right there, realize I don't care. So do whatever. It doesn't matter.
It's just, it's not, I gotta, I'm hungry and I want to.
And I'm sure you guys have figured this out. It's not a science.
No.
It's like, we need a joke here. And then there's no like, this is the best joke. It's like, no, this is the one we're going to go with. And, and somebody might not like it, but we got to move on.
Well, I don't really want to work with people who are like, no, this is the best joke.
Yeah, no.
I don't give a fuck what you say.
I've been around some of them, and it's like, it's usually fear-based.
Yeah.
It's usually like afraid that they can't make more and that they got to, no. There's like, and especially, a strip show, Conan show kind of deal, you can't be precious about stuff. Somebody said, like my friend Tommy once said, if you put an idea out there, it gets shot down, okay. If you still think it's good, try it one more time. And then very, very, very rarely try a third time, but never go beyond 3.
Right.
But there have been people.
You don't want to go way past it. Try it 7, 9 times to where it becomes funny.
Right.
You know what I mean?
No, that's when you go from like 1 kind of funny, then like 5, like okay, it's pretty funny, and then you get through this whole area where it's like, shut the fuck up.
And then
you get to 25 times, and you're like, okay, it's the funniest thing ever. Yeah.
I do like that. Sometimes I'll do that on purpose.
Right.
Just because I do actually find that kind of thing hilarious.